cloud.
Thank you. Just a few seconds to go. I can see, thank you. And now, with the powers conferred upon me as the president of the club, I declare the meeting officially open. Welcome to the 95th meeting of Eldoret Club. Our theme today, the 25th of August 2021, is striving for excellence. I wish to recognize all the guests in the house. All the guests in the house. If you're a guest in the house, just unmute and tell us hello and how you got to know about our meeting. I can spot John Kanyi right away. Just unmute and tell us how you got to know about our meeting.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening to you.
My name is John Kanyi. I am familiar with a few of the people in this meeting, starting with the president, Larynx. I got to know about Toastmasters a few years ago through friends, and I have been seeing Facebook posts, and I have always wanted to join. So it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanyi. I'm sure our VPM has noted you. Any other guests in the call? I can see Windows. I don't know who Windows is. But I also want to, as we wait to see who Windows is, Donald, just unmute and officially we welcome you. Just say hello once again. Donald?
If I put on my whatever goes low. So let me put off the video and then I can talk comfortably. So hi everybody.
Hello. Thank you. You want to say something else, Donald? Okay. Donald, I'm back to you. Okay, let me see who else is on the call. Donald, you didn't tell us how you got to know about our club.
Sorry, I'm in a place where the network is not very good. So that's why I'm having some difficulty.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm glad to be here for the I think this is the first meeting I'm attending.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much and welcome. Any other guest on the call? Members, if you can spot any guest, you can also help me. Any guest on the call? Windows, yes. Somebody using a gadget with the name Windows?
That's me, Joab.
Oh, okay. Okay, Joab. Wewe ni mwenyeji. Karibu sana. Yes, so we will continue to recognize the guests as they come in. Some we will recognize them at the end of the meeting. In any Toastmasters meeting, we have 3 segments. We have the business section, the speech presentation and evaluation, and the table topics session. We will begin with the business section, where we will read and confirm our minutes as was sent to us. It was sent to us earlier and I've sent to us again this evening, so we can read and confirm them. Kathy, you want to give me the screen share, right? Or I have them? Yes, I have them. So I'll just go through the minutes. Our last meeting was on 13th of August. It was the 94th minute. The theme for the meeting was learn and learn, relearn. The presiding officer was Ken Cheriot. We had 23 members present, 9 members plus 14 guests, including 2 Toastmasters who are visiting. The meeting was called to order at 19 hours, and the previous minutes were read, proposed, seconded, and adopted with amendments. During the business session, the members with meeting roles were introduced. I think that was during the meeting. The members with meeting roles were introduced. The prepared speeches were presented. One speech was presented whose title was Attitude is Everything. And then the table topic session went on, after which evaluations were done and reports from members with meeting roles provided. The club awards were also presented. The second session of the meeting was the session 2, where the presiding officer was given back the meeting by the Toastmasters of the day, and the reports were given as follows. Yeah, the guests present were invited to give their feedback, and that is what constituted the second session of the meeting. The visitors were requested to leave their contacts on the chat box so that they can be called for further information. The meeting closed at 20:35 hours. I would like to ask those who are present at the meeting to propose, and then we can second and we can move on. Before that, is there any matter arising out of the minutes? Members who are present, is there any matter arising? Is there a proposer? Is there a proposer? Beatrice, Ken, you are there. Proposer?
Madam President.
Yes, Ken? Would you want to propose?
Me as the presiding officer proposed.
Okay. And I was there as a member. I would like to second. And so we can confirm that the minutes have been proposed and confirmed. At this point, before we continue, I would like to ask the executive, the EXCO who are in the house, to also just say hello so that we get to know them. Just unmute, tell us your role, and say hello. EXCO in the house.
Madam President, can I go first? Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Hello, Toastmasters and guests. I hope you had a lovely evening. Looking forward to a very, very energized meeting today. My name is George Loanya. I'm the Vice President Education and in charge of education, basically assigning members and helping you understand what your path and your growth as a Toastmaster entails. Thank you and have an enjoyable meeting.
Thank you. Also, less than a second each so that we take care of time.
Good evening, Toastmasters and invited guests. My name is Untitled Chapter, the Vice President membership.
Next.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to Eldoret Club. My name is Beatrice Nderi, your secretary, and I'm honored that my document was the first one to be screen shared. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good evening, members and guests. I'm Kathy Koit. I'm your immediate past president.
Thank you. Next. Next. Okay. Because we don't want to waste time, I want to continue so that I welcome the Toastmaster of the evening. Again, before I do that, at our last executive meeting, we discussed some matters which we would want to bring before you as members before we adopt them as a club. I would therefore request that after I itemize each and every issue, we propose and second. The first one is that we would like to move the business section to always come first rather than have it at the tail end when most of the club members have logged off. If this is acceptable, I would kindly ask for a proposer and a seconder. Proposer, seconder.
Madam President, I propose.
Thank you. Seconder.
I second.
Thank you. I hope, Beatrice, you have noted whoever has proposed and seconded. Number two, our elected treasurer is unable to continue serving at our club due to work pressure. We have a member who has presented herself to serve in this capacity. This is our immediate past president, Kathy Koit. Our sergeant at arms has also not been able to serve, and we felt as an EXCO that we should fill in this position. A sergeant at arms is in charge of the club meetings, that is the room, facilities, as well as hospitality. This role requires a person who is techno-savvy or has an interest to grow in that area. I would request that we propose and confirm these two items so that in our next meeting, we confirm whoever will have been proposed and accepted to take up these two roles. We have Kathy, who accepted to take the role of the treasurer. So if that is okay, then in our next meeting, we will simply confirm the proposed and those who will have accepted the roles. Proposer for this and seconder. Proposer.
Madam President, I propose.
Thank you, Dr. Ari. Seconder.
I second.
Thank you. Thank you, Stella. And with that, we come to the end of the first section of the meeting, and that is the business part of the meeting. I would like to introduce to us this evening our Toastmaster, who is none other than Wilson Asimwe, who in a true Toastmaster spirit wears many hats. Wilson is a certified professional executive coach and a research director at Center for Social Research, Kampala. As a Toastmaster, he is a dual member of Bukoto and Kampala Executive Toastmasters Club. He is a sponsor of Kampala Executives, Stanbic Crested Towers, and Come Speak Toastmasters Clubs. He is a mentor of Ntinda Toastmasters. He has been a vice president membership as well as the president of Bukoto Toastmasters Club. He is the past director of Area 17 in District 114. We are all members of District 114, and currently he serves as the division director for Division F. When I asked Wilson the theme question, what is your biggest barrier to achieving excellence? His answer was trying to come up with innovations in a short time, therefore failing to pursue some of them. As I welcome Wilson to take over, I would like us all to unmute and, if possible, just show him our face that he's indeed welcome to be a Toastmaster in our club this evening. Welcome. I'm not seeing faces. I'm not hearing people clap. Good. Thank you. Karibu sana, Wilson.
Thank you very much.
The gavel to you.
Madam President, you have put me under pressure by introducing me in such a very invigorating way, but I hope I will excite the audience. I'm so excited to be here at Eldoret Toastmasters Club because I know that it's one of the top clubs in our district, and I've always wanted to be here. And so today is a landmark for me. The theme of today's meeting is strive for excellence. And you might ask me the question, why I chose that theme. I chose it to basically inspire Toastmasters, achieve excellence, because as Toastmasters, we have one of our values. Before I proceed, I want to ask you a question. What can you do to achieve excellence? And I want to request Madam President to read for me those messages in the chat box. What can you do to achieve excellence?
I'm waiting for them to begin.
Want to see your response?
Kathy says, be your best.
Be your best, thank you.
Being disciplined, be consistent.
Consistent.
Yes, consistent twice. Finish what you start. Keep focus.
Fantastic.
Being unique.
All right. Okay, we can stop there. Thank you very much, Madam President. That is exciting. A lot of people think that excellence is the same as perfectionism, which is wrong. No one can be perfect, but we can excel. And as Toastmasters have said, we have nowhere to hide because excellence is one of our values. And when we strive for excellence, we feel satisfied with the job well done. We learn from our mistakes. We don't let them define us. We enjoy the process and remain flexible. And we can always adjust standards and goals as needed. I can give you an example. Toastmaster Akinyi, our president, told me that self-doubt is our greatest barrier to achieving excellence. But recently, she was one of the trainers training club sponsors at district level. And I saw a Toastmaster who was striving for excellence. And that is evidence that if we try, we can always achieve excellence. She was fantastic. I can talk about myself. I've been a Toastmaster for close to 4 years, but I had been a Toastmaster of the day only twice before the beginning of this year. And now I have been a Toastmaster of the day 20 times. I used to dread this role. Whenever they told me, Wilson, can you please be our Toastmaster of the day? I would say, no, I don't like that role. But I decided that I have nowhere to hide. Let me just take it home. And today, I enjoy this role. I have been a Toastmaster at all the clubs in Uganda. And I've been visiting other clubs across the region. Last week, I was at Bongo Toastmasters, and today I am here at Eldoret. Next week, I will be at Kwanzaa because I enjoy this role. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the answer is here. If you want to achieve excellence, do it over and over again. You will enjoy it. And we are so excited because our role takers this evening have been honest and they shared with me the barriers to achieving excellence. And our first role taker is our counter, Ken Cherio. Please, Ken, tell us about your role this evening.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. My role as a counter is to note any overused words or filler words used as a crutch word by anybody during this meeting. These include inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, you know, and also any other creative words any of you good people may come up with in this meeting. I'll be able to come back at the end of the meeting to report on all of these, including sounds such as or ah. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Fantastic, Ken. Thank you for explaining your role. Our next role taker is our grammarian, who is Stella Chiptu. Stella told me that her biggest barrier to achieving an information. Do we have Stella?
Yes. Good evening,
Right.
Toastmasters. My role as the grammarian today is to introduce the word of the day, to monitor the use of grammar during the meeting. When called upon, I'll give a report. The word of the day is prowess. It is a noun that means a skill or expertise in a particular activity or field. An example in a sentence is, his prowess as a fisherman inspires everyone. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Stella, Toastmaster.
She is through with her introduction.
It seems my connection wanted to let me down. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we can hear
sir.
you.
All right. Our next role taker is our timer, who is George Wanya. And George told me his biggest barrier to achieving excellence is procrastination. George, you have to do it over and over again. You'll be excellent. Over to you, George. Tell us your role this evening.
Thank you, Mr. TMOD. Toastmasters and guests, guess what? Lost time is never found again. So I urge you to ensure that you use every second properly and to the best of your capability. As your timer of the day, I've been timing my job started immediately. The Madam President hit the gong and said, we have begun. So I am timing you from the first session for the prepared speeches to the table topics and to the evaluation. So now, what will I be doing today? I'll be using a display screen, and this is how we are going to look at it. Now, if you look at the icebreaker, because they will have icebreakers and prepared speeches. So the icebreaker, you have 4 to 6 minutes. So I will flash the red the green screen at 4 minutes, the yellow screen at 5 minutes, the red screen at 6 minutes. And for the normal speech, which is between 5 to 7 minutes, I shall flash the green screen at 5 minutes, the yellow screen at 6 minutes, and the red screen at 7 minutes. And for our table topics, I shall flash a green card at 1 minute, and the yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes. And for our evaluations, I shall flash the green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red card at 3 minutes. With that, I believe that we are ready to go, and I believe that at the end of the day, you shall give me an excuse to improve my prowess as a timer. Back to you, TMOD of the day.
Thank you very much, George Wanya, for that explanation of your role. Our next role taker is Ken Agotu, our table topics master. Table topics, the most exciting session during a Toastmaster meeting. All right, Ken, you told me that procrastination was your biggest barrier to achieving excellence. Let's do it over and over again. Ken, tell us about your role this evening.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I'm that one person you dread because my role involves picking someone at random and asking them to speak on a topic that I'm sure they've not even thought about. When I started off in Toastmasters, this is the area I dreaded the most. But I figured out that with practice, I actually grew my prowess in impromptu speaking. So keep trying. And when my time comes, I'll give you the scare of your lives.
Wilson? Wilson, have we lost you? I can't see Wilson on the call. So the next table topics, the next role taker can introduce themselves as we wait for Wilson to come back.
I think that was, there's the general evaluator.
Yeah. General evaluator.
All right. Our general evaluator is Edwin Okech, and Edwin told me that his biggest barrier to achieving excellence was doubt and fear. Please, Edwin, tell us about your role this evening.
Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster of the evening, Division Director Wilson Asimwe, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the General Evaluator is to evaluate everything that takes place throughout the meeting. During the meeting, I will take notes on everything that happens, including everything that should happen but does not happen. I will evaluate each participant on the meeting program to look for their prowess in presentation, examples of, and look for good examples of preparation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duties. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report. Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster George Okech. Edwin Okech, not George. And our first speaker is evening is Beatrice. Beatrice told me that her biggest barrier to achieving excellence is procrastination. This seems to be on track. Beatrice is going to be evaluated by sorry, I beg your pardon. Our first speaker is Kathy Koit, and Kathy told me that she doesn't think that there's any barrier to achieving excellence because it's just doing your best. Kathy is going to be evaluated by Liz Owino. Please, Liz, tell us about Kathy's speech and introduce her.
Thank you, TMOD. Our first speaker is Kathy Koit. Kathy Koit is giving an icebreaker speech. Kathy, I misplaced your title. You can remind us your title, Kathy?
Growing pains.
Growing pain.
Yep.
Growing pain, Kathy Koit. Kathy Koit, growing pain. Welcome.
Thank you. Join Toastmasters and grow. That's what they promised me. I want my money back. Since my first meeting in 2015, I have lost at least a couple of centimeters. And when you're starting off with only 145 of them, there's not a lot to lose. I remember at the age of 14, how excited I got when I at long last grew taller than my mother, who at her zenith was only 4 foot 8.5. That's approximately 143 centimeters. 4 foot 8.5 is an interesting height. It's the width between the rails of the standard gauge railway. We always joked my mother could never be tied across the railway tracks by some nasty villain, as in the silent movies of her childhood. She would fit neatly between the railway tracks and the train would go straight over her without any damage. We also told her that she should have married somebody at least 6 foot. And funnily enough, all my siblings, including myself, did marry 6-footers. Even my brother, who reached the manly height of 5'6", married a 6-footer. We were doing our bit to try to bring the next generation of the family back to average height. Though, of course, we were average height, just for another century. I remember going with my parents when they were in their late 70s and had shrunk even more, to visit a famous old wooden warship from the early 1800s. In our tour group were 10 naval officers visiting from Belgium, tall guys. As we toured the ship, they kept hitting their heads on beams, particularly when we descended down the companionways, that's stairs in nautical language. My parents and I had no such problem. We were the right height for 1845. Being only 4'9" or 145 centimeters, you definitely are the butt of a lot of short jokes, from being asked to stand up when you are actually already standing, or being picked up by your younger brother's taller friends and left standing in a dustbin while the rest of the school went in for lunch. I was the prefect who was supposedly supervising them. Doesn't work. But it can also have advantages. Walking around a supermarket and you want something from the top shelf? No problem. Perfect excuse to smile sweetly at the gorgeous guy who's passing you and ask him if he would kindly assist. You never know, that might be the beginning of a new relationship. Never worked for me, but I live in hope. Where's this going, you ask? I want to tell you why I chose engaging humor as my next path. I like making people laugh. I joined Toastmasters to have fun. I really looked forward to what was my only evening out where I knew I would be entertained and hopefully also entertain those who came to the meeting. For a few years, I was married to a most gorgeous guy who had a great sense of humor. He would use words in such a way that while crazy and illogical, or even damn right rude, the way he said them and the phrasing he used was entertaining. He played squash with a bat, not a racket. Our goldfish didn't live in a tank. They lived in a cage. In one case, he had an employee with a bad personal hygiene problem. He told him in a funny way that he smelled like a camel. They smiled, rushed off, and did something about it. I'm sure if I'd said the same thing, I would have either been physically abused or instantly dismissed. Probably both. I'm therefore hoping that this Toastmasters path is going to lead me to a better understanding of how I can be entertaining without insulting. I was fortunate to grow up in the days of Monty Python, the crazy skits, the Ministry of Funny Walks, and just that whole 1960s sideways look at life. As they said, as the Palestinians said when complaining about the Roman occupying force, apart from the sanitation, the medicine, education, wine, public order, irrigation, roads, and fresh water systems, and public health, what have the Romans ever done for us? What has Toastmasters done for me? Lots. But most importantly, all the new friends that I have made and continue making while shrinking is inevitable. I'm hoping to grow in other ways, not the waistline, but keep entertaining you as you also grow in a safe and fun environment. No pressure. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thanks very much, Kathy, for that exciting speech. We can all relate that Toastmasters is such a wonderful organization. Our next speaker is Sophie Koit. And Sophie told me that her biggest barrier to achieving excellence is failure to focus and procrastination. Sophie is going to be evaluated by Diana Chariot. Diana, please tell us about Sophie's speech and introduce her. Over to you, Diana.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Sophie Koit is giving out her first speech, her icebreaker speech in presentation mastery. The purpose of her speech is for her to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structures of a public speech. She has 4 to 6 minutes, and her speech title is My Story. My Story, Sophie Koit, My Story.
Who among you has seen a Swiss cheese? It appears as a whole slice, but it has a lot of holes in it. I will not give you the whole story of my life, but today I will give you the Swiss version of my life journey. born and bred in Kaptagat, to a family of 31. Yes, 31. Growing up was fun. I was surrounded by many people, old and young. My primary and secondary school flew away very playfully. My studies too went on like a breeze without any sort of pressure. But I felt so devastated when my KCSE results came out, because I did not make to join university. I felt that I failed my father, who taught me that the best kind of knowledge is that which is learned. I stayed home for over 1 year, taking care of cattle and cooking for everyone. I felt frustrated. My sister, who was in Nairobi, came to my rescue. She took me to Nairobi. The thought of being in Nairobi was so thrilled. I was thrilled to be in the city. Being in Nairobi was fun. I got a job in a restaurant, earning 15 shillings, which enabled me to enroll myself in a computer college to learn COBOL, Common Business Oriented Language. My prowess in COBOL programming landed me a job as a assistant computer programmer. I had made a promise to myself to achieve a university degree. And with that, I enrolled myself for a diploma at Kenya Institute of Management, which I did a diploma in Management Information Systems, remembering the words of my mom, who taught me that even the largest tasks can be achieved if it is done one step at a time. I enrolled myself for a degree and completed, and later master's in Management Information Systems. Soon to graduate with a PhD in Management Information Systems. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. That is a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. This is an achievement which I'm very, very proud of. I've always been a go-getter because I enjoy giving my absolute best to everything I do. And I love feeling the satisfaction of a job well done. I enjoy having lots of iron on the proverbial fire. And I love the knowledge that comes from exposing myself to a variety of situations in an effort to continuously improve. I know Toastmasters will be a great venue in which to hone my skills. Courage is doing what you you are afraid to do. Each one of you made a decision to be a Toastmaster. Seeing you all here connected, over 20 people connected, gives me courage that I'm not alone in this journey. I urge you all to hold my hand as I hold yours. As we do our best, what we do best in Toastmasters. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Toastmasters and guests, let us share emojis on the screen to appreciate Sophie for that wonderful speech. Thank you very much for motivating us, Sophie. Not very many people can achieve such from such a humble background. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Jawab Oku.
So, excuse me, Mr. EMOD, I just had a request from Azron, who was going to be the fourth speaker. He's just wondering if you would mind if he went next, because he has an urgent errand he has to run. Joab, I'm wondering whether that would work. I'm sorry to change the order.
All right, Joab, is that okay? Can you speak after Brian?
That's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Our next speaker is Brian Azron Otieno. And this is an icebreaker. Usually, when we are holding a physical meeting, we rise and clap for the speaker. And so I request you to share those emojis on the screen as Brian steps up to deliver his icebreaker. Brian told me that committing on some Brian told me that the biggest challenge he has as far as achieving excellence is concerned is being stretched in order to cover a lot of things, a lot of ideas, and therefore that makes him fail to achieve excellence. And Brian is going to be evaluated by Kathy Koit. Please, Kathy, tell us about Brian's speech and introduce him. Over to you, Kathy.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, and thank you for being flexible. Brian Azron Otieno is doing his icebreaker. He is also following presentation mastery path. And as we are aware from the other icebreakers, the purpose of his project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Azron Otieno's speech is what's in a name? What's in a name, Brian Azron Otieno?
Thank you very much. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I hope you're all pumped for this 95th meeting this evening, as I am. I've had the opportunity of being a timer and participating in table topics in the previous meetings, but never have I had the opportunity to deliver a speech. Since I joined this club, this is my first speech, the icebreaker. And in preparation, someone experienced told me, Azron, there are three things. There are three things in speeches. There are three kinds of speeches. There is the speech that you prepare to give. There's the speech that you actually give. And there's the speech that you wished you had given. I'm curious to know which of the three this icebreaker falls in. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, my name is Azron Brian. I only identify as Azron Otieno to the government, KRA in particular, taxes, demographics, and all, you get it. But you're still you, regardless of what we call you. I'm glad someone asked what's in a name. You see, names aren't just a group of letters bunched together to sound pleasant to the ear. No, they are more than a convenience, allowing us to talk to each other. A child who is born today is either named after someone in their honor or remembrance, or if they're from my community, the child will be named according to their time of birth. Otieno, like Kemboi and Chemkemoi, means I was born at night. Now you know when my mother delivered me. Consider yourselves invited an inch closer to my inner circle of the acquaintances. The good book says that Prophet Isaiah was instructed to name his son Maher Shalal Hashbaz. Maher Shalal Hashbaz. This is because the king of Assyria would carry away the wealth of Damascus and plunder Samaria before the child would be able to say my father or my mother. We both know which one of the two the child was able to say first, but that is not the subject this evening. What's in a name? Maher Shalal Hashbaz. What a mouthful name, but a name full of meaning. Maher Shalal Hashbaz means to plunder speedily. Names are important, and names aren't meaningless, but they only identify us. We are not defined by our names. On the path to self-discovery, I learned that Azron Brian expresses my essential nature as opposed to Azron Otieno, since Otieno only tells you when I was born and where I'm from. So yeah, I'm still me, regardless of what you call me. But would you rather get to know of me, or would you rather get to know me? Remember, a rose is still a sweet, even when called Ualawaridi. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, my name is Azron Brian. Thank you very much. And over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Azron, for that fantastic speech. I'm so excited because we share something. You want to know that?
I'm very much excited, Toastmaster of the day.
I was also born at night.
Amazing. Amazing.
Our next speaker, Toastmasters and guests, is Joab Oku. And Joab told me that his biggest barrier to achieving excellence is having that extra time. So he thinks that he has so much time and that makes him lose focus. And Joab is going to be evaluated by Beatrice Nderi. Beatrice, please tell us about Joab's speech and introduce him.
Thank you, Mr. Chiomedi. Our next speaker is Joab Oko. Joab told me that you can also refer to him as Nyakwal Sarina. Joab is attempting his level 2, project 1, understanding your style in his presentation mastery pathway. His speech title is Discovering Communication Styles. The purpose of this speech is for Joab to learn about different communication styles and identify his primary style. Joab will also share the impact of his style on others. Joab Oko, Discovering Communication Style. Discovering Communication Style, Joab Oko. Joab, take up the screen.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day and other invited guests. What is your communication style? That is a big question. So communication is important because it helps you to impart information and knowledge between one person and another in various forms, through speaking, through writing, and other forms. There are 5 common styles in communication. One style of communicating is what we call passive communication. Passive communication is a method of communication where the communicator does not directly express his feelings and thoughts and opinions to another person. For example, in a workplace situation, let's assume you come late for work and your boss asks you, Or you tell your boss, sorry, boss, I'm late for work. And the boss tells you it's okay. But you can see from the body language, the boss is not amused. So that's a passive form of communication. The boss does not want to express his feelings directly to you. So it's a form of communication. So another form of communication is what we call aggressive communication. You can be an aggressive communicator. So an aggressive communicator is a communicator who is very loud, very rough, and at times is rude, and he wants to be heard. He wants his feelings and opinions to be the dominant expression. In a group, for example, you can find someone who is very loud. He wants everyone to hear him. In a workplace situation, you can have a situation where, let's say you come late for work and the boss tells you, if you come for work late again, I'll beat you up or you'll be sent home. That kind of communication is rude, he wants to be domineering. So that kind of a communicator, we call it an aggressive communicator. You can have another style, which is a combination of a passive and an aggressive communicator. We normally call it passive aggressive communication style. So this is a situation where you are indirectly, at times you can call it an indirect aggressive communicator. For example, you come late for work and you apologize to your boss, then your boss says, it's okay, but next time you'll find your place taken by someone else. So it's a combination of both a passive and aggressive communicator. Then we can also have as a style of communication, which we call an assertive style of communication. Assertive communicator is one who is very clear and very direct in his expression of opinions and his thoughts. For example, in a workplace situation, you come late for work, then you tell your boss, sorry, sir, I'm late for work. Then the boss tells you, I wish you could have come in good time, but it's okay. So that kind of communication, the person is really direct and is understanding and says, it's okay, I accept your apology for being late, but I wish you could improve on this. So this is the best style of communication that is an effective kind of communication that everyone should learn to acquire so that you have a prowess in that kind of skill. Then we also have a communication style we call manipulative communication. So manipulative is a style in which the communicator wants the person is communicating to buy in his thoughts. You are trying to influence people to buy into your thoughts, and you are influencing them in a way that might not be the right way, like what politicians do. Or in a workplace situation, let's say you are late for work and you apologize to your boss, and the boss tells you, it's okay, there's nothing wrong with coming late. It's normal for coming late to work. And that kind of response is like the boss is, you are communicating in a way that you want to please someone.
We've lost Job. It's like we have lost Job.
I think so. I thought my network was The one letting me down. Let's give him 1 minute and find. He was about to conclude, I think.
Yeah, he was.
He had delivered his speech up today. 5 minutes. I hope the evaluator can be able to focus on what he had delivered and evaluate him. So let's give him 30 seconds and see whether he will return. Okay, I think let's proceed with our last speaker this evening. Our last speaker is Purity Koske, and it is an icebreaker. Please on the screen to achieving this. High evaluator is Angie Tengi. Angie, please tell us about Purity's speech and introduce.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Over to you, Angie.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Purity also has some few hiccups, so she won't be able to present today. She says her laptop charger got spoiled. She's logged in by her phone, but her audio is not working. So we'll postpone the speech to the next meeting. So back to you, TMOD.
Thank you very much. Madam President, would you like to engage your guests before we go into the topics?
Wilson, did you talk to me?
Yes. Would you like to engage your guests before we delve into table topics?
Yes, I can do that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for those speeches so far. We began by appreciating the guests who logged in at the beginning of our meeting. And I saw as we continued that others joined us. Maybe we could give them an opportunity just to say hello. I can see you, Irene Koit. Just unmute, say hello. If you are comfortable, you can put your video on. Irene Koit. Irene Koit.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, Irene.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, can you would you want to tell us how you got to know about our club?
Oh yes, I got to know about this club through Beatrice Nderi. We are neighbors around Eldoret, and this is my second time joining these sessions, and it is quite interesting. I'm really enjoying it. I'm hoping to take up a role in the next meeting.
Wow, we have noted that. Our VP, we already have a role taker. Karibu sana Irene. We also have Dennis Kingangi. Dennis Kingangi, just unmute and say hello to us. Tell us how you got to know about our club.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Dennis.
Yeah, my names are, as you have heard, Dennis Kingangi.
Are you able to
hello.
Can you put on your video?
There's a problem, okay. The video.
Okay,
yeah.
No problem.
I got to know about the club through, I don't know whether it is Sophie. I cannot remember whether that's the name, but she's a colleague at work. Yeah.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Welcome, kabisa kabisa. We hope.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn. This is the first time I've logged in.
Thank you.
I'm trying to learn how I can improve. I think my speech. I think I was told that is what it is all about.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready to learn and probably improve on. mind as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sela. Sela Karibu, you can also unmute and say something. Sela Plapan. Stephanie Cheriot. Yes, Stephanie.
Good evening.
Is that Stephanie? Yes.
Yeah, this is Stephanie. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
So I'm Stephanie Cheruto. I got to know about the Toastmasters through Stella Sabai.
Welcome. Welcome, Kabisa.
Of learning to do, and I loved all your sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome. John Barno. John Barno. Sela, are you now ready? Okay, our guests, you're very welcome to continue learning with us. Toastmasters is all about leadership and communication skills as we take up roles. We are glad to have you with us, and we hope you'll continue joining with us. Back to you, Wilson.
Thank you, Madam President. Have you requested them to join Eldoret Toastmasters Club?
You are welcome to join Eldoret Toastmasters Club.
And now to the most exciting session. Ken Agutu, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. This is indeed a really exciting meeting. Like I said before, the purpose of the table topics is to improve our impromptu speaking skills. Nothing to be scared of. What I'll do is I'll call out a question and then pick somebody at random from the meeting. The person could be a Toastmaster, it could be a guest, and all you need to do is speak for between 1 and 2 minutes on the topic that I've given. So here we go with the first one. I would rather strive for excellence than perfection. I would rather strive for excellence than perfection. This goes to Angeline Tenge. Angeline?
Wow. I'm the first one for this exciting session. And
yes,
one thing about perfectionism, it requires prowess, which is a skill that just doesn't come, which is a skill that I'd say is just not handed to you. One thing about excellence is there are those quality, it's like a form of quality improvement, actually continuous quality improvement. So I'd rather be excellent, or I'd rather be excellent than being perfect, because excellence allows me to make mistakes and then correct and improve. It also allows me to be consistent in what I'm doing. Being perfect is quite hard. And I've actually interacted with people who are perfectionists, and their lives are quite hard. You'd find that somebody wants things to be done in a certain way, in a certain manner, and if you're not able to deliver that, it becomes a problem. And then you'll find like perfectionists are actually irritated by very small things. So even living around a perfectionist is just a hard task. You'd actually, it's like being in jail, eh? Interacting with a perfectionist, it's like being in jail. So I'd rather excellence, so that you apply some form of continuous quality improvement. And at the end of the day, you'll find that you as a person, you actually grow and become better every other time. Thank you, and back to you, Table Topics Master.
Excellent, excellent. You'd rather grow making mistakes than strive for perfection. Wonderful, wonderful. I wish there was more than just 2 minutes to continue listening to your melodious voice, Angeline. The next question is, Colin Powell said, if you are going to achieve excellence in big things, you should develop the habit in little matters. If you're going to achieve excellence in big things, you develop the habit in little matters. So tell us 1 or 2 little habits that you possess that have helped you build excellence in an area of your life. Tell us 1 or 2 little habits that you possess that have helped you to build excellence in an area of your life. And this goes to Larix. Larix? If Larix isn't here, I will ask the same question and ask Purity. Is Purity here?
Purity has no audio.
All right. That question will go to Diana. Diana Cheriot.
Hello, Table Topics Master. Can you kindly repeat the question?
Most certainly. Colin Powell said that if you're going to achieve excellence in big things, you should develop the habit in little matters. So the question is, tell us 1 or 2 little habits that you possess that have helped you to build excellence in an area of your life.
1 or 2 things that I possess that have helped me build excellence.
Yes, little habits. Yes.
Little habits.
Mm.
When you first asked the question and directed it at Larix, I hadn't had it well, but in my mind, I was just thinking consistency. So now I'm thinking consistency in reading. I have made sure that I keep on reading, and it's a habit that has really helped me ensure that I keep on doing more, learning more, and just appreciating different fields. Another habit I can say I possess is the ability to see the positive in everything. In life, I have discovered that we go through a lot and we face challenges at every step, but just the ability to smile through it, ability to see a brighter tomorrow. It's really that habit that has helped me in literally every single stage. And I'm always looking forward to more, to better, to greater. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Diana. Reminds me a little bit about myself because I like reading and I like looking at the positive side of everything. It makes life so much easier. I feel that I have time for another question, maybe 2, but there's a quote that is usually attributed to one of the Nehrus, but it probably wasn't by him. It says that there are 2 kinds of people, those who do the work and those who take the credit. Join the first group because there's less competition there. Please give us an experience that supports this quote, something you've experienced. There are two kinds of people, those who do the work and those who take the credit. Join the first group because there is less competition there. This question goes to John Kanyi. Hi, John.
Hello, good evening. Thank you. You've really made me sweat as you claimed that you would make us to be. Wow, that's a difficult question. The first time that I landed in Eldoret, I was staying in Annex, in Action Estate. And one day when I was going to work, there was somebody, a mother and a kid who had been knocked off the road by a moving car. And that time, everybody was standing on the sideways, and I was an intern. I got the courage, I don't know from where, and went to check whether she had a pulse or something. And the short of it is eventually I was able to convince people to rush her to hospital. That is a life that could have been lost at that time. And many of us usually encounter such situations, probably on a daily basis, where there's something that needs to be done, but we are all waiting for somebody to do it. Probably I didn't get the credit that day, but I felt good that I sort of helped to save a life. And I wish from that time, every time that I see people standing on the side, not wanting to do something about some situation that is probably bothering them. And most of the time we tend to complain about issues and not doing the work because probably we are not going to get the credit. But the joy is always to, at the bottom of your heart, if you know that you did something that contributed to the betterment of somebody, I think that's the biggest credit that you would ever get. So the credit is not from out there, but if you can give yourself credit on something that you did and changed somebody's life, I think that would be the biggest credit that you would ever get. So I would want to challenge us to look for opportunities where you can do something and give yourself credit for it, but don't wait for credit to come from out there. Thank you.
That was really good. This guy tells us he's not a Toastmaster. I don't believe you. You are made to speak, so can you go ahead and get those membership forms and join? Well done, well done, well done. Thank you so much. Timer, do I have time for another question? George? Silence indicates assent. So I think he's saying I have time for another question.
I believe you have one time for one, because you have 2 minutes to go.
Okay, thank you. Tell us an opportunity that you missed while pursuing excellence that either delayed or derailed your goal. An opportunity that you missed while pursuing excellence that either derailed or delayed your goal. This question, I'd love to give this to Dennis Kingangi. Hi, Dennis. Hello, Dennis. All right. Then can we get, I'm just trying to see who doesn't have a role. Donald? Okay. Ken Bugwa?
Hi, sorry, I've just joined and it's my first time. If you'd allow me to just listen in silently, and then I'll sure be able to participate in a later time. Kindly. Thanks.
Okay, can I ask, is John Barno here? All right, it's up for text. Who would like to take this opportunity? Anybody, even if you're a role taker?
Table topics master, repeat the question. I may be able to make an attempt.
No, you don't have a choice. You'll have to make the attempt. Tell us of an opportunity that you missed while pursuing excellence that either delayed or derailed a goal that you had set.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. I am a construction professional, my quantity surveyor, so to speak. And part of my duty involves evaluation of work done by the contractor. So there was this time that I was consulting for a construction firm. And in my view, we needed to get certain things done the right way. And I tend to be more of a perfectionist than an excellence guy. So there's this time when I thought that our request for payment needed to include certain items in a very particular way before it leaves the office, because that is the way I had been trained in my previous job, that any document that is getting outside of my desk must be as near perfect as possible. So that was my training. And when I got this new job, my new job boss did not think that this was necessary. So I went ahead and released the document as it was, but then retrieved it before it could get to its final destination. And that cost me my week's wages because I had intended to have it done correctly, while my boss thought that the timing was better than the quality of the document that was going out. Table Topics Master.
Well done, well done. You say you're more of a perfectionist, and Angeline and I wouldn't agree with you. If we were working with you, I think we would be clashing it daily. But thank you so much. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, and I give you back the gavel, so to speak, and I hope you've all enjoyed this.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Toastmaster Ken Agutu for such a wonderful session. I like the fact that all the topics were in line with the theme of the day and the speakers were fantastic. I would like to find out whether we vote for the best speaker here at Eldoret, Madam President. Madam President.
And on behalf of Madam President, yes, I do have a poll ready for the best speaker. The poll for the best table topics is up at the moment.
How about the prepared speeches?
The prepared speeches will come up. The table topics has been up for 1 minute, and I have 18 out of the 17. Other people are voting. Then as soon as this is finished, I will put up the best speaker.
All right, I was at Bongo last week and they don't vote for the best speaker. So I thought that maybe it is the same.
No, it was an oversight on my part in not putting it up.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else to vote for table topics? I will end that poll. We have a distinct winner. And bring up the other poll. And I promise I won't cheat. Can you see the poll for best speaker? Thank you.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank
All
you.
right. And now our next session is the evaluation of our speeches. And some people say this is the breakfast for champions, but I want to emphasize that evaluations are the oil for this Toastmaster machine. Without evaluations, we can't improve. And our first evaluator was Liz's speech that you evaluated. Over to you, Liz.
Thank you very much, our Toastmaster of the evening, Kathy Koit. Growing pains. Your prowess in humor as you grow in your engaging humor pathway is already evident. A good sense of humor is an escape valve for pressures in life. With you in our club, we will definitely release all those life pressures. What a great way of beginning the speeches this evening. I had so much pressure, but just by listening to your speech, they all were released from me. You captivated us with your speech. We walked with you through your life's journey as you clearly took us through your highs and lows with much prowess and ease. I can basically figure the average height of your family members and how this defined your life's pathways. For a long time to come, Kathy, I will remember how you struggled to get to the top of shelves and how you felt when you were asked to stand when you're already standing. You displayed good vocal variation. You were clear. You captured your audience, and you as a presenter was very comfortable. Thank you very much for that icebreaker speech, whose purpose was for you to introduce yourself to the club as you also learn the basic structures of public speaking. What is it that you may want to work on? I feel that you may have to work on your camera so that your gestures are clearly seen. I also feel that your sound projection was rather low. I struggled to hear you. I also feel that you need to work on your eye contact, because with your eye contact, you are able to capture your audience. To challenge yourself, I believe that everything can be made better. Give us more humorous speeches, and together we will grow. Back to you, Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Liz Owino, for that detailed evaluation of our first speech. Our next evaluator is Diana Shiliot. Diana told me that her biggest barrier to achieving excellence is fear for the unknown, fear of rejection, fear of failing. Diana, please tell us about that second speech. Over to you, Diana. Do we have Diana on this call?
Yes, I can see her. TMD.
Thank you very much. Yes.
It seems Diana's got problems with her network.
She's muted.
I'm here, I'm back.
All right, Diana, go on.
Yes, and I'm very glad to be seeing Sophie. Hi. So I loved the flow of your speech, from being born in Kaptagat to a family of 31, to being disappointed by your KCSE results, to almost achieving the highest academic qualification available. Your speech was very clear. You were very comfortable and at ease while giving us your speech. I truly appreciate the fact that you stood up and had a very interesting background. In future speeches, I would advise you to keep the flow of your speech. You took us through your journey and left us truly inspired, but the final paragraph was a bit shaky in terms of your train of thoughts. Sophie, you had good use of language. For example, even the largest task can be achieved when the first step is taken, and the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Wow. Your speech was absolutely inspiring, and my takeaway was, when you do your absolute best, you will achieve whatever you set your mind to, because courage is doing what you're afraid of doing. Kudos, Sophie Koit, on your icebreaker speech. It was an amazing speech, and all the best in your future speeches.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Diana, for that excellent evaluation. Our next evaluator is Kathy Koit, and Kathy doesn't believe that there's any barrier to excellence, because excellence is just doing your best, which can vary given circumstances. Over to you, Kathy, to tell us about that speech you evaluated.
Thank you so much, Wilson, to TMOD. As well, I think he had to rush off, and I will send him the written evaluation. But for the benefit of everybody else, I will continue evaluating his prowess as a Toastmaster. Not only did he tell us a little bit about himself, he gave us an introduction that told us what he was doing for Toastmasters. And I have to thank him for taking on roles before he took on speeches. In this club, we do encourage even those before they join to become role takers and then take their icebreaker speech. He gave me something I didn't realize, that also in his world, as well as the Kalenjin world, that names give significance of when they were born. And just as an aside, my middle name is now, what is it? Gerono, born when the goats come home, as opposed to what I was christened with, which was Muriel, which followed the tradition of being named after a maiden aunt who I really didn't like. So I've never liked my middle name. So I agree with him entirely that you choose your names. Asron Brian. You are not defined by your name, but you do use your name to define you. I think it was a very good explanation. And his story from the Bible about the naming of the guy whose name I am not even going to try and pronounce. I'm afraid I'm not a very good Bible scholar, but it was all dynamic. It was short and sweet. We listened intently. For an icebreaker, it was excellent. To improve, I would have liked a more dynamic opening. Good evening is a great way of starting, but capturing the audience. If you'd have done something like, Asram Brian is the name I want. He went into it well the second, but maybe a little bit earlier would have just picked us up. Otherwise, it was excellent. Challenging yourself, just carry on speaking. Just move on to the next level and you will be there. So thank you so much, Asran. I'm sorry you didn't hear this. I will try and send you the recording and definitely send you the written. Thank you very much. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you very much, Kathy, for that detailed evaluation of that speech. And our next evaluator is Beatrice Nderi. And Beatrice told me that procrastination is her biggest challenge. Beatrice, please tell us about the speech you evaluated. Over to you, Beatrice.
My fellow Toastmasters and guests, were you not educated by the prowess that was exhibited by Joab Ooko? From the speech title, Discovering Communication Style, we are all here in Toastmasters because we want to be better readers, and this was all that Ooko was here to tell us. To begin with, Ooko's speech was relatable to all of us. He began by telling us that from his research, he has discovered that there are 5 styles of readers. And I know we have all come across of them if we are not one of them. For me, I've learned something today, that there's a type of reader called passive aggressive. I didn't know that. Thank you so much, Ooko. The speech was given with a lot of clarity, clear as crystal. The gestures were on point. I remember Ooko saying that one day his boss came in and told them, if you come late again, you'll be sent home. And you could clearly see that that boss was talking to someone from the way Ooko was pointing to that person. Ooko, you may want to work on the internet connection. We know we cannot control technology, but we can always do something about it, because we wanted to listen more and more about these leadership styles. I challenge yourself to maybe incorporate quotes in your speech and have more gadgets as a fallback. I came across a quote that says, the most important thing in communication is to hear what isn't being said. And from your gestures, Ooko, I can tell you, I could tell what you didn't even talk about. Well done, Nyakwal Sarina. That was an amazing speech. You made my work as an evaluator very easy, and I can't wait to see you give us more prowess of your communication. Thank you so much. Back to you, TMOD of the day.
Thank you very much, Beatrice, for that detailed evaluation of that speech. Kathy, can you please launch the polls for the beta evaluator?
Absolutely. The polls.
And Kathy launches those polls. Our next session is going to be led by our general evaluator, Edwin Ketch. And this session is about listening to reports from our role takers and eventually a general report from Edwin. Over to you, Edwin.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to have the reports, and I want to call on the tag team to give us their report. May I call on the timer to give us how well we are using our time? Mr. George Luanya.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. The session has been scintillating, exciting, and I'm sure our prowess as Toastmasters has gone a notch higher. Very quickly, I'll give you times for how we performed the to time, and I'll start with the prepared speeches. And we have our first speaker, Kathy Koit, who basically delivered a speech with 6 minutes and 9 seconds. That was good within time. Sophie Koech delivered her speech at 6 minutes and 11 seconds, fantastic within time. Job Oko, who had challenges and was allowed 5 to 7 minutes. His network disturbance came in at 5 minutes, 25 seconds. I believe that was within time. Ezun Utieno gave his speech at 3 minutes, 35 seconds. Beautiful. To our table topic speaker, who had 2 minutes maximum to deliver the excellent message. Angeline Tenge came in at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Diana Cheriot performed a 1 minute and 10 seconds. John Kanye blew us away with 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Edwina Cage closed the stage at 1 minute and 23 seconds. To our evaluators, evaluator number 1 was Toastmaster Dr. Liz Akinyi, who had 3 minutes to speak but utilized 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Excellent, Dr. Akinyi. Evaluator number 2, Diana Cheriot, who had 3 minutes to exercise and gave us used up 1 minute and 30 seconds. To our third evaluator, Kathy Koit, who had 3 minutes but used up 2 minutes and 32 seconds. And evaluator number 4, Nana Toastmaster Beatrice Nderi, used up 2 minutes and 45 seconds. I believe that today we are all within time and nobody went above time. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Excellent. May we have the accountant, Kenneth Cheruiyot, to please give us how many R's and M's we had this evening.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I did not fail to note that the prowess of the speakers today in avoiding the crutch words was very evident. However, my listening skills were up to the task, and this is what I caught. From George, our timer, I got 2 A's. Job, a couple of so's, A's as well. From our guests, we had 2 R's, yeah, so. During the table topics session, from our table topics master, 1 so and 1 R. From Angie, 2 R's and an A. Diana, an arm. John, couple of R's and arms, and gladly has been invited to join Toastmasters. He's good in speaking. The rest will be cleared out once he joins. From our evaluation session, from Elizabeth, we had 2. From Kathy, M and arm, which was very commendable, Kathy. Very, very well done. And back to you, General Evaluator.
The grammarian Stella Chepto, please give us your report.
The word of the day was used quite well today. It was used 2 times by George, who said our prowess as Toastmasters. He also mentioned to improve my prowess as a timer. Ken Agutu used it once. He said, I grew my prowess in impromptu speaking. Okech used also once to look for their prowess in presentation. Joab used it once so that you have a prowess in that kind of field. Beatrice used it once. Are you not inspired by the prowess that was exhibited by Joab? Ken Cheriot also used it once. Prowess of the speakers today was evident. And the queen of the word of the day today was Dr. Liz, who used it 4 times. She said, the great prowess, John, that was a great display of prowess. Your prowess in humor is already evident, much prowess and ease. Also, there was a prowess in English language. For instance, someone said, I'm that one person you dread. Another person said, while shrinking is inevitable. My studies were not like a breeze. Escape verb, clear as crystal. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Oh, sorry, back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, my tag team, for such a prowess display on reporting standards, because we've all done it within our allocated time. Toastmasters and guests, I will be going directly into General Evaluators report. And in my report, I will look at 5 thematic areas. That is, what did we do before the meeting? What have we achieved at the meeting opening? How has the Toastmaster of the evening performed? We'll look at how the table topic session was done. And generally, again, look at how the session president, who in this case is also the club president, has performed. And starting with before the meeting, I am happy to report, number one, that yes, the meeting opened well in time. I know I joined 7 minutes to the top of the hour, and I want to believe many of us were already in the meeting, as at that time we had 14 out of 20 members of Eldoret Toastmasters Club in the meeting, and that is very commendable. It's close to 75% of membership attending the meeting early. I want to congratulate Eldoret Toastmasters Club for their prowess in keeping time. I did notice that the president welcomed the guests appropriately, and they were given the opportunity, one, to introduce themselves and to tell us their interest in Toastmasters or how they got to know about Eldoret Toastmasters. I thought that was okay, because we have been able to realize that there are people who are willing to come in. And I know the vice president in charge of membership and the vice president in charge of education will be able to take on those members. We know that because the president asked them to introduce themselves to the club. I thought that was an excellent display of leadership. Our presiding officer was excellent. And our presiding officer here is the Toastmaster of the evening. He was excellent in explaining the meeting and how it would go, including explaining why he had the theme, how to achieve excellence. Except for intermittent internet challenges, I thought the Toastmaster of the evening has run his session quite with some ease. We started on time. Most of us were properly introduced. Many of the roles that were supposed to be taken in were filled in well before the day, and that is commendable. And what I liked most about this meeting tonight is the flow of activities. With the exception of 2 speakers either dropping out or not being able to finish their speeches, the flow of activities into this meeting was quite done well. We flowed from one session to another almost effortlessly, as if this is something that we've been doing all along. And this shows how much preparation has gone into having this meeting being held today. I would want us to improve on preparation for the meeting, because despite the fact that the roles were filled way before the meeting time, it is quite disappointing that somebody not willing or not able to take up a speaking role just announces it while we are already into the meeting. I thought that was a little bit pointed towards.
Problem.
Hello?
Oh.
Kathy, you're talking?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I thought I was muted.
All right. I thought that indicated a little bit towards lack of preparation of our part. So we may need to improve in that area. Other than those, I thought that we've run the meeting quite well, and we've had some lessons to take back to Kisumu Toastmasters Club on how excellent it is on the flow activities. I thought that was the best that we've had this evening. And the fact that Eldoret Toastmasters Club this evening has a Toastmaster of the evening from Uganda, this brings in a little bit of style, variety, and interest into coming into Toastmasters meeting. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening, and I would sure want to come back to Eldoret.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, our General Evaluator, Erin Oket, for that detailed evaluation of this meeting. And I'm sure the leaders of this club are going to take your suggestions into consideration. And we can only become better and better. Let me share with you a few tips on how we can achieve excellence. Number one, have passion for what you want to achieve. Number two, come up with a plan to enable you to achieve what you want to achieve. Number three, believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, no one is going to believe in you. Learn from the best, not anyone, but from the best. And work hard, ladies and gentlemen. Never give up. And lastly, my blueprint, do it over and over again. Don't fear to make mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. I've enjoyed myself being your Toastmaster of the evening. Over to you, Madam President.
Thank you very, very much, our TMO, our Toastmaster of the evening. It was wonderful having you with us, and it has been quite an evening that I don't think any one of us would have wished not to dial in. Indeed, we promise you as Eldoret Toastmasters, we shall revenge. When you call upon us, we shall come in numbers to support you. Thank you very, very much. I want to ask Kathy, who was doing the polls, just to give us the results as I wind up the meeting. Kathy, you're ready? You're muted.
I'm always muted when I shouldn't be and unmuted when I should be. Okay, so let us do a share of the screen. We will start off with best speaker. And, oh, sorry, we'll start off with best table topics, because this is a really exciting. Our best table topics goes to John Kanyi. So really, you're not even a member and you outshone the rest of us. You did fabulously. Thank you so much indeed. So we'll do this all in reverse order. After our best table topics, and John, if you can put in the chat your contact. Oh no, we've got your contacts. I know you're in our WhatsApp. I will send you your form. Best evaluator goes to our president, Dr. Elizabeth Akini Owinyo. Well done. Thank you, Elizabeth. That was a great evaluation. I was really happy with what you were telling me. Thank you so much. And best speaker, I don't think he's here to appreciate it, but we can all appreciate him. Azron, short and sweet. You did a great job and everybody appreciated what you were saying. So that is our three champions of today, and I will get their certificates off to them. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Kathy. And just to remind all the members and guests, these are some of the skills that we learn in Toastmasters that you can transfer to your place of work and even use to make a living. Look at what she has done within a short time. We learn all these skills here. That's why we welcome you to join us so that we can learn together and transfer these skills elsewhere. I would like to thank all the EXCO members in the house and those who are not in the house for very good work done this evening. As our TMOD has told us, anything that has to be done with excellence requires passion, and that passion must be supported with a plan. Good that we planned ahead of time and everything has gone on seamlessly. Thank you very, very much. We look forward to our 96th meeting next month. I also want to thank all the members, all the visitors, our area director, thank you for coming. Wilson, I have already said thank you very much, and I've promised you that we shall revenge all the new members to be, members who dialed in and are aspiring to grow together with us. Thank you very, very much. And all the role takers, as we take up the roles, we grow, we become confident, we build ourselves. And what you do to yourself, I always say that self-development is self-love. If you can take time to develop yourself, you love yourself that much. So I'd want to thank you all. I think I have mentioned everything I wanted to mention this evening. And with the powers conferred upon me, I would want to bring this meeting to an end at exactly 4 minutes to 9. We can still remain to have a chat with one another and get to know each other better.